team 경기장 도시형.
All right, guys, let's get things started here. We are on the map Calm Before the Storm, and in the red, starting off for the team Alternate Attack, it is none other than Socke. That's how you say it, right?
Socke.
Socke?
Yep.
Socke, okay. Just wanted to make sure. Down the lower left in the blue from the team Prime, he is not vintage. He is not, I don't know, what's another word for old? I don't know, elderly. He's classic. We call him Classic.Prime. He's a Protoss player, and so they're going to PvP it up.
He's in the old folks' home for StarCraft players.
Not quite yet, no.
Though
that'll be the awesomest old folks' home ever, actually.
Well, where did I see that quote? It was you know, in 50 years, are we going to have retirement homes that have LAN parties? Because we better.
Yes.
I will be playing computer games until I die.
See, that is the awesome thing about being into video games, because you know what? A lot of old people, their hands still work pretty well. I mean, think about it. You see, like, pianists that are, like, really, really old. They can still play amazingly. Like, you've got B.B. King out there. He's in his 80s. He's still an awesome blues guitarist.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, as far as playing video games go, we're going to be doing it for a very long time.
Can't wait until we have the StarCraft 2 Senior Circuit.
That's right.
I mean, Nesty's leading the charge right now there, but...
well, Nesty just doesn't age. He'll still be the same age, and everyone will be like, you can't compete in this. And he'll be like, I can do whatever I want.
He'll rip off his mask, and he'll be a robot underneath. And
that's right.
That's how you make such good decisions.
Too. It'll be scary. They're like, why'd they give you such tiny hands, robot? All right.
Okay, well, here we go, guys. Alternate Attacks and Prime. It is a PvP, and we have successfully wasted the first 2.5 minutes of it.
Excellent.
That is the best way to cast a mirror matchup.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only thing you really pay it, well, there's a couple things, obviously.
Of course.
Probably the most primary thing is when exactly the gateways go down. They look like they went down at about the same time here, so no big variation to really take note of at this point. One gas for each player as well. Cybercore starting slightly earlier for Classic. So, but other than that, you know, not a huge deal.
And, yeah, we'll see when that second gas goes up. There it is for Socke. Back on Classics.
Second gas, nothing.
There it is.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I was just waiting for it. Now, we've seen a couple of weird PvPs in these qualifiers so far. We saw some that were 3-gate Stargate versus 3-gate Stargate. So
that was awesome, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just weird and cool, and I really liked it. Oh, okay, so Classic deciding to go for the Zealot, whereas Socke is going to be getting a second gateway. No Zealot for him. We may see some sort of 3-stalker opening, theoretically, for Socke. It's a good anti-4-gate opening, and although the Korean players aren't really known for 4-gating constantly like they used to be, it's still just a really solid opening into a bunch of different other cool builds.
Yes, it is. And, you know, especially on fairly traditional maps. You have a long walk distance, but of course, if you're going purely gateway units, you don't have to worry about that as much because the warp and mechanic will allow you to place units anywhere on the map. And let's go ahead and take a look now. Socke's second gate's about to finish up. Classic, on the other hand, he's got quite a bit of gas saved up and still doesn't have any extra production facilities.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. He's going to definitely be doing some sort of tech off of one gateway. We'll have to see exactly what that is going to be. Could be a lot of different things, so I have to kind of wait until it goes down. But, you know, Socke, obviously, he's going to not have any problems with these units from Classic.Prime that are right there. He's going to have a Stalker, and, you know, actually, Classic.Prime... Whoa, actually, Socke chasing the probe down the ramp. He does want to get it before the pylon ends. He kind of thinks maybe this is a 4-gate, actually. It, of course, is not. This is a fake by Classic.Prime, and Socke, with those 2 stalkers, is going to be able to easily push it back. I didn't have enough time to say the whole word easily. I just shortened it to Ely.
That was weird. Socke actually didn't pursue the Zealot. He was worried about warpins up at the front, but now there's no pylons down. Looks like he was sufficiently tricked, though, as he's got his 3rd gate in a row coming out now. But boom, Stargate at the back of Classic space.
Cool. All right. And just from where the positioning is, it doesn't look like it's going to be any sort of offensive Stargate tech. It looks like Prime is, or Classic.Prime rather, is going to try to expand off of this, and that's an opening that's kind of gaining some traction in the Korean scene right now. You've got Protoss players like Inori that are quite good at it. Yep, there's the Nexus.
All right, so he's going to have quite the economy to sit on now, but
if he lives.
But Socke expands as well. I was going to say a really strong concerted attack out of Socke could disrupt this. 1-gate Stargate expand would be vulnerable for a while, but it's relying on some passivity from Socke. It looks like that's what he's going to give because he has his own expansion.
Yep, that's right. Just a 3-gate robo expand for Socke. I love this new school PvP. I love that people are expanding, you know, kind of showing us longer, cooler games. Because, I mean, 4-gate versus 4-gate, I liked that too, honestly, because it was a lot of fun to see the intense micro that went into it. But it did kind of lead to predictable games.
Yes,
sort of. So
very.
It's good to see some more variation in builds out of Protoss players these days. I don't mind that at all.
All right, well, Prime's Classic actually has gone ahead and already chrono boosted out 3 Phoenixes. Looks like that's going to be his little attack squad. Another one coming up right after that. And Socke has done a good job of patrolling units around, but he doesn't have a whole lot back at home just to go ahead and defend against the Phoenixes.
Well, this is interesting by Classic.Prime. You know, he waited until he had 3 Phoenixes, wanted to be able to go in there and do some harassment too. And, you know, if your opponent's not expecting it, you can kill a couple probes by doing this, and any sort of probe advantage you can get in a PvP is going to be a huge advantage. Really, any sort of worker advantage in a mirror matchup is generally a big advantage. So nice little trick there by Classic.Prime. Oh, he's actually going to show the Phoenixes, pick off those Stalkers out on their own. Look at how slowly they kill Stalkers, though.
Yeah, that is true. But still, any gain right here is very, very good.
It's not bad.
For Classic. That's a lot of resources gained for him.
They weren't made to kill those things, that's for
No. Light units, awesome. Those, nope.
Yep.
Chuck Testa.
Nope. All right, so Twilight Council going down for Socke, so it looks like he's probably going to move into some sort of blink play after this, I would imagine.
Sure.
Meantime, Classic.Prime getting his robo as well, doing a little bit of harassment, killing some probes.
Yep, used all his energy and then
it.
backs on away. So let's take a look here. 60 over 60 supply for Classic, 55 over 68 for Socke. And he's going into Blink at the moment. That's going to be his counter of choice to Stargate. Doesn't want to play catch-up in any way to the Phoenix numbers that are already there. Classic doesn't have that big of a force sitting there on the ground, but he has complete control of the skies and is doing a good little bit of economic damage.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think Classic.Prime saw the amount of Stalkers that were out too, and we're like, oh, well, I know what you're doing now. Well, he also saw the Twilight Council, of course, too. So
sure.
He's going to be pumping out some Immortals. Oh, actually, no, just going right away for Colossus instead.
All right.
Cool choice there to do something like that. He's going to need a strong gateway core to kind of bolster this, and by making some Phoenixes and continually making Phoenixes, he is going to weaken that a little bit.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what happens in the actual fight at the end of the game, you know, just how valuable those Phoenixes are going to be. Oh, nice snipe on that Observer, too.
Definitely. And you know what? These are the PvPs that I enjoy watching, though. The ones that get past the Tier 1 and 1.5 tech, and we're actually moving into fun unit compositions and, you know, a little bit more unpredictable engagements. And here comes Classic now. He's just waiting for his opportunity to strike. Looks like he'll be able to pick off a couple of units. There's the blink from Socke. Doesn't even really do any damage. One of the Phoenixes lost 36 HP, and that's it.
Those Phoenix are so fast.
Yes, they are. 9
Very
workers
quick.
killed now.
Yep. Quick Phoenix. And it's going to be Colossus Tech for Socke as well. Not really able to move out on the map with that blink quite yet. But, you know, a lot of Protoss players do decide to get Blink and then just go into Colossi later on to just use the Blink. Blink is kind of a utility type thing. Oop.
Yep. Has to back away there, but he's got to make sure that he doesn't get these sentries exposed. Those are 2 completely full energy sentries. Would be devastating to Socke if those went down. So, as you mentioned, Socke is putting up his own robotics bay, but Classic, he's going to have 1 Colossus with thermal lance basically before they're even started for Socke.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if Socke is being a little bit greedy here, going for a 3rd base while he's getting these Colossi. Classic.Prime is actually going to have, I think, a pretty huge window to come in and do some gigantic damage to Socke. So, you know, we'll have to kind of wait and see here. But taking that 3rd expansion, I think, was a little bit bold.
Yeah, I agree. Looks like Classic, though, is waiting to do about the same thing. Now, if he expands himself and delays his attack, it'll work out okay for Socke. But if it doesn't get thrown down, then Socke would be in danger of really falling to that 2-base attack you were alluding to.
Yeah, he's waiting to throw down that Nexus because he sees Socke starting to move out across the map, wants to make sure he has enough resources to bolster his forces if necessary. Looks like the attack is turning around, though, so we'll have to see if Classic.Prime decides to expand or not. I kind of feel like he's not. Well, I guess he is. All right.
Okay, well, let's see here. He is on double robo now. As you can see, that ground army, not really a lot there. It's mostly just in pure Colossi and Phoenixes right now. Obviously, it's a lot more well-developed for Socke, but he is backed by 19 supply now. None of that is in workers, so that's all reflected in what's on the ground.
Yeah, I think Classic.Prime doesn't feel any sort of pressure at all to make something happen in this game quite yet. Essentially, with those Phoenixes running around, he basically has map hacks. He knows what Socke is doing all the time. He knows where everything is that he has. So he knows that he's ahead on the Colossus production. So he's like, all right, well, as long as I just keep making Colossi 2 at a time and getting my upgrades, I know I'll have a better army once the armies actually meet. So, you know, I think Classic.Prime is just kind of letting things go his way and not really feeling the need to force anything.
Still has not lost a Phoenix either.
Yeah, really good control.
That's just staggering. 13 workers killed now, so even though the players are basically even right now, that's a lot of gained resources for Classic. And, you know, as we mentioned before, he's considerably up in supply, and the units that he does have to affect that supply are way, way better than his opponents. +1's about to finish up now, along with his 5th and 6th Colossi.
Yeah, so what does that bring the total count to then for that? It's going to be...
Well, he's going to have 6 Colossi here,
right?
yes, and his
2.
opponent
I
is
just wanted
making
to see
his
how many
3rd.
Socke had.
Yep, 3.
Okay.
He's making his 3rd.
Rock on. All right.
All right.
Well, look out, Pro!
And the Phoenixes are going to bounce away here. Observer's pretty much everywhere. Socke's a little bit paranoid now, and he has reason to be. His opponent just has such a staggering army at the moment. Taking a look at Socke's vision, he does have an Observer buried into his opponent's base, and if he floats over that Colossi number, he is not going to be happy.
Nope. Yeah, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. And he kind of, you know, already is. The Colossus count is so much higher for Classic.Prime. Like you had mentioned a little bit earlier, the upgrades are a little bit better for Socke, but with that big of a Colossus difference, he's like, oh no, that's a lot of Colossi.
Yes.
Yeah, the upgrades aren't going to make that much of a difference, really. Yeah,
not at all, especially when you just have that much firepower. It's been a very passive PvP.
Yeah, CC's right away, adds a 2nd Robo.
Yeah,
actually,
3rd.
Triple Robo, yeah.
He's got to catch up somehow.
It's going to be a triple Robo.
Let's see here. So we have a pretty good-sized force for Socke trying to knock down the rocks there and take his 4th base in a bit. And he's going up to Templar Archives as well. He will be able to transition over to Charge-Light Archon if necessary.
Are these guys like playing no rush 20 minutes or something like
basically.
that? I mean, honestly, no real aggression from either player besides just some Phoenix harassment.
I would have figured
Classic.Prime.
Why haven't we just seen a straight tech to Mothership and Carriers? Because why not?
Why not? Yep. So.
Oh, sorry. That's right. I forgot. Carriers are awful.
Triple Robo, yeah, from Socke. Is he really going to be able to produce out of all 3 of those? I suppose he can on 3 bases, but you know, this game is just getting hilarious. I mean, it's like, I'm going to have more Colossus than you. It's like, no, I'm going to have more Colossus than you.
Well, we have Colossi number 9 and 10 coming out for Classic at the moment. Looks like he finally... Yay! He got a Phoenix!
Yeah.
Huzzah! Huzzah! And it looks like we have how many coming up for Socke at the moment? 3 more, so he's going to be on 9.
I'm like half expecting to find Tom Cruise on this map somewhere. This is turning out so much like War of the Worlds.
I sure hope not. Just douse some water on them. Everything goes away.
Well, no, just sneeze on him, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. What were you referencing?
Let's see here. Wasn't what was the M. Night Shyamalan? Help me out here.
Signs.
Yeah,
that's what it was. That movie wasn't very good.
That was terrible. So.
Well, yeah. And then in the end, he finds out that he's been dead the entire time. Well, you know, I think Socke might find out that in the end he's been dead the entire time too, because
that's true.
You know,
that's true.
Classic.Prime still has a better army. You know, he's getting charged. He's getting some upgrades too. He's got, I think, a little bit better gateway competition. But these guys are going to be maxed out. It's just going to be max versus maxed army. So it's going to come down to control. So maybe Socke not so dead. After all, I think these Phoenixes are going to help quite a bit in thinning out the Colossus numbers, too.
I definitely agree. That's exactly what I was going to say. And just testing the waters, because if he kills something, awesome. If he frees up supply, awesome. He'll put it into something more valuable in this big engagement anyway.
What's the Colossus count right now at?
It is 10-9. It's actually going to be 10-10 as soon as this next one finishes up for Socke.
Wow, he's even things up. Triple Robo all the way. There is a fleet beacon coming out for Classic.Prime as well. Just wanted to mention that. +2 attacks all on the way, but +2 has already been done for a while for Socke. He's getting +2 armor and +1 shields, too. This is suddenly not looking too bad for Socke. Oh, that was a bad blink, though.
Yeah,
that
it was.
Not the best idea. Here's a big engagement. Better concave for Classic.Prime at the moment.
Better concave. Socke does have the much better upgrades right now, but these Phoenixes are actually proving to be worth their weight in gold at the moment because they're occupying so much attention, both in fire from the Stalkers below, and Zocke's army is just getting wiped out. Forget the better upgrades. He is done. Now down by 50 supply.
Yeah, well, we saw him blink his Stalkers ahead, and they all took some big hits from basically every single one of Classic.Prime's Colossus, and that, you know, kind of halved the army of Socke right there. So just kind of one big mistake at the start of that engagement was all it took to swing a big kind of advantage of Classic.Prime. Oh, sending your Colossi randomly into the map. Don't help. Does not help either.
No, it does not.
Yeah, so...
3 Colossi coming up as +2 armor finishes. A mothership on the way for Classic.Prime.
Yep, that's right. Classic.Prime about 60 supply ahead right now, and he's just going to kind of roll in there and try to end the game right now. Socke's still able to produce 3 Colossi at once, so he's still going to have a decent army, but I just think he might be a little bit too far behind right now. Both of these guys on 4 bases. When's the last time you saw a 4-base to 4-base PvP?
It's been a while.
That's pretty awesome.
All right,
and
well,
the Mothership as well. Haven't even mentioned that yet.
Classic makes his way up. Phoenix goes down, but the rest of the army is in tow.
Okay, so looks like Classic.Prime's going to try to take out this 4th base. Socke's going to try to defend.
Well, here we go. It's a much smaller force. Just look at the number of Colossi that are sitting out there for Classic.Prime right now. Sokke's backing up, but the Phoenixes are actually keeping so many units in check that he almost has to engage right here. He is going to lose the 4th base unless he attacks right now. But look at that. More reinforcements coming in for Classic. Socke just on 3 base and 1. Actually, almost 2 of those bases are now mined out.
Yeah. Yeah, things are starting to look kind of bad for alternate attack Socke right now. I mean, he's at the point where he can't really muster enough of his army, even with the triple robo production, to match what Classic.Prime has. And as Classic.Prime's Mothership comes out and the upgrades finish for him, that's just going to help him kind of match Socke in any areas that Socke happened to be ahead in at the time. So, you know, I don't know. It was so close until that blink from Socke. I mean, he really could have taken it.
All right, well, let's see here. As supplies are 153 to 197, it looks like Socke's going to stay in here until we have one more good fight, but Classic's on top of this. He makes sure to check all of the avenues here to make sure his opponent's not doing anything that could catch him unawares. And where's Mama Ship? There she is.
I'm surprised Classic.Prime's being so passive here. I mean,
I agree.
He has a bigger army right now. So.
And I think Sokke's not going to be happy as soon as he sees the Mothership here as well.
Yeah, well, he should have some vision. I mean, he's got to have an observer out.
He's got
no,
none.
Actually, he doesn't have any observers. All right, well, this will be a bit awkward.
That's one way to put it.
Get there. It's going to be a while before she does, though. Big engagement here between the 2 players. Nice concave there for Socke. Man, those Archons soaking so much damage.
Yeah, they really are. But now Sokke's pushed onto the low ground. The Phoenixes are coming into the fight. There's nothing here to buffer these units. There's the Mothership. Has enough for a Vortex if needed, but not. And that force was completely obliterated. Now 100 supply advantage for Classic.
Yeah, I think he's going to move ahead and try to end the game here. I mean, you've got Cloaked Colossus. That's a little bit... it's kind of dangerous. Oh, Zealot Warpins won't help too much against that army.
Nope, not at all.
I think that is going to be about it.
There's the Vortex.
Mothership.
Going to prevent anything from dropping into the low ground.
That is it.
Boom!